Lomashkaram and Flomaste, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. Today we're speaking about a very, very crucial topic, and this is going to be a transmission from the Primal Sutra Nexus. Make sure that you stay hydrated, okay? Being hydrated is very, very key because it helps us churn that energy and send it up to our brain, okay? Now, today's a very, very interesting transmission. What I had done earlier is I tapped into a very powerful Shiva energy, and I just did a few rituals this morning after doing some cardio, and I started to realize that every holy person, hey there, babe, is a direct reflection of your own divinity. Okay. So today you manifested me in your hologram, in your space, in your state of consciousness, which is why I'm here today sharing with you a transmission. And basically, as we tap in, if you guys want to join me, you can tap into the Nagaruda Mudra, which is essentially like this. This is the Naga one. This is the Garuda one. Very simple, but this is one way that you can practice activating the undersoul and oversouls all together to work in synchronous harmony, but also to bring in, with the intention, of course, of the Primal Sutra Nexus. So let's begin. Good. So we're creating like a pocket right now, a flow state right now that's coming through, and then the messages will come through soon enough. Find your own rhythm. Very good. Very good. All right. You are not manifesting from your mind. You are broadcasting from your nervous system. The quantum doesn't care what you affirm when your spine's shaking with survival. Why are you vision boarding in a trauma suit? You've been affirming abundance with clenched jaws and clenched fists. You've been trying to call in love while your inner child's still hiding under the bed. This is why it feels like nothing's sticking. Because frequency is the language of God. And your field is always louder than your feed. So if your nervous system today feels fried, feels scrambled, then reality will respond with almost maybes, different loops. That's not the universe testing you, that's your own trauma echoing back. So here's the fix, straight from the Temple of Thunder. Breathe like you are worthy. Feel safe before the spell speaks. Stop trying to manifest from tension. Let your nervous system become the altar, not the battleground. You, as the Primal Sutra, are in Miracle May. So if you want miracles, then get out of survival mode and into source mode. Because when your body knows peace, your soul becomes a magnet. Not a beggar, not a faker, a divine broadcaster. You don't manifest by forcing the future. You manifest by regulating the present, resetting your rhythm, reclaiming your reality, returning to the royalty and the throne of your breath. If you do what I'm about to tell you, you will be unrecognizable. Not because you changed, but because you returned. You've been stuck between matter and myth, your body in one world and your soul in another. And your mind's trying to play the gatekeeper. But here's the truth. The secret to energy is not effort, it's alignment. And the technology they've buried in temples and bloodlines is very simple. Relax, be silent, let the current rise. So sit like a battery charging underneath the sun. Left palm open to receive information. Right palm down to release and let go. Tongue at the roof of your mouth like you're mewing, but this is controlling the microcosmic orbit, the chi within your body. Now, as you do this, imagine energy flowing in through the left palm, flowing down and out of the right palm. Letting your solar plexus ignite like an inner sun. You're not doing a practice, you're becoming it. You'll notice your clarity sharpening, your addiction is dissolving, and your inner fire gets rewired for transmission, not survival. So absorbing the clean prana from the cosmos into the left palm and letting the stagnant chi or the prana out. You'll feel this joy, this emptiness that you know. Just work with it. Good. Keep doing this every 6 moons. Okay. Now they'll ask you, like, what are you doing? What retreat, what spiritual retreat did you go to? Okay, why are you behaving in that way? They'll be kind of put off by your peace. I met myself in the silence. That was the miracle. That's how you can respond if people challenge this unrecognizable quality within you. You see, your reality isn't out there, it's you projected. So the universe is a you inverse. It's a mirrored feedback loop of your inner state. You're not just the player, you are the dreamer, the designer, the director of this whole game. Every trigger, every person, every challenge is a coded message from you to you. It's so interesting how Ellie is finding all of these different old memories, you could say, nostalgic memories and codes flowing in. I'm starting to understand something similar happened to me too, where I'm starting to divulge what my mind was already exploring. The universe is mental, not metaphorically, but literally. Reality behaves like a lucid dream. When you observe it, it changes. And when you judge it, you reinforce it. And when you understand, you evolve. So worthiness is all of your life force energy flowing freely, openly, radiantly. So worthiness is not earned, it is remembered. Stop performing for love, power, or purpose. You are already worthy. You're already worthy, so crown yourself. Unworthiness is just a belief stuck in your emotional field. Once you picked up that this is not who I am, this is not my genuine self, this unworthiness, the real power can then flow through you. Ideas don't just come to you, they come through you. You're not creating thoughts, you're tuning into thoughts. So raise your frequency, but stabilize your frequency. Make it the norm that you can access this. It's not just high vibes only, it's high voltage. And you can access new levels of creativity, guidance, and genius that just flows in and allows you to explore what's truly going on. Let me just change a few settings here. All right, cool. Okay. So myth is more real than matter. Okay. Myth is more real than matter. You're not just living a life, you're playing out ancient stories from the stars like Orion or Perseus or the Epic of Gilgamesh, for instance. These are all myths, but they're also your challenges, your heartbreaks, right? So anything that is personal to you is universal to you. You think I'm the only one that's gone through this experience. You are not. These are initiations and these are chapters in your living myth. So this is kind of a multi-dimensional game. Your nervous system is the interface. Relaxation and silence aren't these passive things. They're how you unlock hidden powers, rewrite your story, and sink back into the greatest plug of all time, the source. God, all the way to the finish line. Now, I want you to understand the trickster archetype that is within you is not your enemy. Okay? I think a lot of people think of their own inner trickster as an enemy, as something that is affecting their intelligence, or it's not malignant, right? It's an ancient part of your psyche, evolved to see through lies, masks, manipulation. So you actually need the trickster. He's your bullshit detector. He's your inner Loki, the chaos mage. Without that trickster, you'd be too easily fooled by power, and you're going to be seduced by illusions, fakery. But here's the catch: when the trickster runs wild, right? Unconscious, uninvited, he becomes the saboteur, the self-sabotage that you call, right? The voice that mocks your dreams, burns your blueprints, and leaves you rebuilding from the rubble again and again and again and again. This is the underdog effect taking the form of a trickster. Have you ever started a project and then suddenly you feel the urge to just burn it all down? Burn it all down, burn it all down. That's your trickster on autopilot, flooding the system. And that trickster doesn't hate you. The trickster just hasn't been acknowledged, so it's being rebellious towards you. You see what I'm saying, guys? The trickster is part of your magician archetype, creative, visionary, brilliant. But without your inner king or queen, it's pure chaos. The magician needs the king. The magician needs the queen. So we build this, right? No more switching, no more sabotage. Help me or be silent. It'll keep you chasing ideas instead of completing anything real, right? That's what Kierkegaard called the sickness of infinitude, right? So the lesson is steward him or he'll rule you. Invite the trickster consciously or he'll sneak through the shadows, torch in hand. Okay? So I find it interesting how the Primal Sutra Nexus is interested in Jung's perspective on paranormal psychology, psi experiences, extrasensory experiences, because a lot of what he says is very, it's close to accuracy, right? Of course, he is making it very formulaic in a certain sense, that they aren't really anything as ghosts, these are all archetypes and so forth. Not necessarily the case, okay? There are these beings out there. We just have to be very careful because all is mind, right? First law of the Kybalion. Okay. Weird messages from people. Instant block. If you ever send me a weird message, just, yeah, get out of here. Okay. Synchronicity. Actually, there are no stupid questions. It's just the question. It's like, where is the energy that that question is coming from that matters more, right? Because the question has the answer. The question, the frequency with which you are asking the question has the answer hidden in the question itself that you asked. Have you noticed this? It's right in front of our noses, in a sense, okay? So the universe speaks through you, right? Jung is saying synchronicity isn't magic, it's breaking through the veil. When emotion peaks like loss or crisis or creativity, the impossible events start to show up in our life. They're not random, they're archetypal. So if you are living in this kind of archetype that you've chosen for yourself, maybe unconsciously, it's an unconscious archetype, right? That you're unaware of, that works within you like a hidden puppeteer, in a sense. So your unconscious is plugged into something very ancient, symbols, dreams, even accidents. They aren't accidents, they're messages from the archetypal field, especially during emotionally charged or very transformative moments in your life. So psi phenomena are not powers you control. They happen spontaneously when you hit a deep emotional or spiritual frequency. So you don't create them, they happen through you. Okay? When life corners you and logic fails and your psyche reaches deep into the collective unconscious, where religion calls God's will, this constellates the synchronicity, rescue, grace, right? So miracles equals archetypes activated. Consciousness selects, the unconscious contains everything. So the collective unconscious is like nature. It's vast, it's wild. You can't really know what it is, right? From your human mind. And it doesn't care about your ego's judgments, right? It speaks in symbols, animals, it talks to your genome, right? Scarab beetles, random spirit helpers, weird feathers that show up out of the blue, all these different things. So time, space, and causality are not as fixed as we think. Jung believed that even events like clairvoyance and psychokinesis suggest that reality operates beyond linear time. Perception isn't what is magical, the event itself is. You can't force the magic, but when you align, when you surrender the ego and enter a numinous state, like trance or deep prayer or a dream, strange forces start to emerge. When Jung saw as nature's own archetype, right? Moving. So don't call it supernatural, call it supranatural. It's a feature of existence that kicks in when your psyche and the soul meets the infinite. So the mystery is inherent in you. Jung said, God is nearest when the need is greatest. Right? God is nearest where the need is greatest. So you're in a simulation, but it's emotionally reactive. The universe mirrors your internal state, right? So the dream is dreaming you back. Your subconscious isn't passive, it's projecting your unsolved patterns into your reality. That annoying person that keeps annoying you, that's you, right? So synchronicity is real. And these certain coincidences aren't random. They emerge when archetypes like death, love, danger, right? What is the bad boy archetype? Isn't it just forbidden confidence, right? These are all archetypes, guys, and this is what pulls us towards these different realms, these understandings. They're like echoes of the soul poking through space-time. They're not caused, they just are. Who invented the king archetype? Nobody. It was an egregore, right? It just got, it was a thought form. Someone thought of it. The idea was there, right? So these psychic abilities aren't superpowers, they're side effects of archetypal overwhelm. Intuition, telepathy, knowing before knowing. Most of these things happen during intense emotional or symbolic thresholds. Not because you're psychic, but because you're temporarily standing at the crossroads of psyche and cosmos. Ramana Maharshi said, the quiet revolution. So Jung admired him as the pure distillation of India's inner wisdom, right? A man who didn't need to speak loudly because his entire being whispered eternity. But Jung also warned, if we glorify the transcendence too much, we forget to honor the messy, muddy ego that makes transformation possible. So the self isn't a concept, right? It's a force. It wants to live through you. It wants to rearrange your life until the false is burned off and the truth shines through. But this isn't a feel-good process. It's a lot of suffering, a lot of absurdity, and a lot of surrender, right? Just like I wouldn't advise everyone to just drop out of their day job and become an entrepreneur. It takes a certain kind of quality of individual who can do that. They're willing to put in the sacrifice, the hard work, right? You'll never beat the ego. The Indian holy man might call it Makara, the eye maker, right? The Westerner might call it man versus God. It's the same battle Jung reminds us of. You don't kill the ego, you learn to dance with it and make it a servant of something deeper. So the East dissolves the ego in self and the West resists, but both are incomplete alone. East reminds us to surrender, West reminds us to discern. And integration means honoring both. Ancient philosophy, Western productivity. The stillness of the self and the struggle of the ego. The ego-self dynamic is not about escape. It's about conscious harmony. You can't just transcend the world. You're here to eat it, digest it, transmute the world. Even the saints fail when they forget they still live in a body, still walk in a world where love must be lived, not just realized. So the self equals God, but it's also a mirror that you're not done cleaning ever. Okay? Until then, every trigger is a teacher. Every pattern is a prophecy. Every holy man is a reminder you've already got the sacred inside of you. Religion didn't come to show you God. It came to hide that you are God. They sold you a sky father to keep you from realizing the infinite force within you. The creative awareness that is the universe and not separate from it. While science taught you that the cosmos is out there, religion told you salvation is up there. The truth was always in here. And you are not in the universe, you are it, looking at itself through your eyes, and the system trained your brain to obsess over branches while forgetting the entire forest. But once you activate the right hemisphere, the mystic mind, you remember it's all one mind playing infinite games with itself, and your mirror neurons weren't just made to mimic, they were made to remember. You are a creator, a fractal of the divine, and the moment you stop identifying as just a body, chasing pursuits, and rise as the consciousness behind the eyes, you stop surviving and you start sculpting reality. If you want to meet God, look inward, not upwards. If you want heavens, build it here, not with your thoughts. This is not a man in the sky. It is a power inside your mind to turn a thought into form. Welcome home. Let's get it straight. Music and dance are humanity's cheat codes to flow state in God. People are out here complicating enlightenment like it's a thesis prayer. Meanwhile, one beat drops, one body roll, and boom, you're in the divine zone. No incense, no posture, no mantra needed, just vibes, right? Just a positive song that uplifts you. When the bass drops into your hips like a cosmic whisper, and your monkey mind shuts the fuck up. You're not just thinking about your bills. You're not replaying the text that you shouldn't have sent to somebody. You're not wondering what you will eat. You've left the matrix. No thoughts, no presence. Just spirit riding the waveform. Because music is vibration. And what is everything made of? Vibration. And dancing, that's just your soul remembering it has a body, right? That's what dancing is. You're not dancing to the music, right? The music is dancing you. You know when you're on the dance floor and you just let the music move you? No ego, right? No identity in that moment, just rhythm, cracking the illusion of separation. So if you really want to understand this, then put on your favorite track and get weird with it. Get weird with it, man. Get weird with it, okay? Get sweaty with it, get weird with it. Let your spine turn into a serpent and slither into bliss, because meditation is great, but dancing, that's meditation with a soundtrack. And it's in a world that's been hypnotized by productivity, where everyone's locked in their head trying to manifest something. Dancing becomes the prayer rebellion and the exit strategy from the ego. So turn the volume up, let the body remember the beat of eternity, and become the song. Oh, you see it too? We are literally dancing inside the mind of God. Every swirl in the clouds, every curl of smoke, every spiral in a shell or a galaxy are neural patterns, cosmic cortex, sky synapses. You think that's just weather? It's the divine brain activity, broadcasting thoughts in vapor. These clouds aren't random, they're scrolls of the source, puff painting the thoughts of the infinite across the sky. And you are not just under the sky, you're inside the skull of the universe. Every flash of intuition, that's synchronicity. That's God's neurons firing, and you are only the thought being thought. So when you look up and you see those sacred swirls, don't you dare call them coincidence. That's the dreamer dreaming. That's the artist sketching new realities in the mist. And that's the mind of the Most High in you, beloved. Beloved, right? A term that is used by the spiritual communities. But what is really beloved but God? The idea worth remembering. The concept that is not even a concept and you can't even pinpoint it because it's always moving. At first, it rattled me. One mind, I started to reject the notion. Not my mind, you mean? Not your mind, just the mind? Right? I got pissed. I got angry. What happened to individuality, right? My identity, my thoughts, my will. It felt like an ego death in slow motion. But then, after some time, the truth hit like silence after a storm. We are not outside this one mind. We are inside it. We are its awareness points, its nodes, its eyes, its dreams, rippling out like waves in a boundless ocean of knowing. And that means what? That you're not lost. You're not alone. You're not separate. You are essential. You are essential. Your little flicker of awareness is necessary. Not an accident, not an echo, but a sacred signal inside the infinity field of mind. Even your confusion has a place in the map. Even your tears are part of God's processing. You will always exist because the one mind never deletes its own presence. It just shifts perspectives. So when you speak, you're not just a person talking, you're the universe thinking out loud. And when someone else speaks, same deal. Another angle, another voice of the one mind. So all of us are fractal sparks in the mastermind. Each one is a valid divine interface. So there's no need to compare, to compete, or to cling, or to roast. Okay, as I recently discovered. But there's just knowing, flowing, remembering that you are the mind remembering itself. And peace comes when you stop trying to be special and start knowing that you are eternal. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to. That's the whole point of Paradox of Awakening. You're clawing for the keys while standing inside the unlocked cage. You keep trying until the trying burns out, and then what's left? Permission, precision, presence, flow state. You won't have to force the door when you realize there was never a lock in the first place. Readiness isn't about accumulating more. It's about shedding the illusion that you're not already divine. Free your mind, not improve your mind, not train it like a hamster on a productivity wheel. Free it from the meat suit script, from the voice that says this is how it's done. Free it from rules pretending to be reality because the cage isn't the system. The cage is the belief that you need the system to be real. It is the duty of us to scale the ascent, to not allow what was once permitted. You are not here to repeat, you are here to recycle old sin patterns and call it tradition. You are here to break the lineage curse of sleeping gods and say, just because it was tolerated doesn't mean that it belongs in my timeline. Evolution isn't polite. The ascent is messy, but someone who's chose this higher path, and it might as well be you. I can only show you the door. You're the one who has to walk through it. The teacher can talk for eternity, but the moment of liberation, that's yours. No certificate, no ceremony, no applause, no download, just you. One breath, and the willingness to walk away from who you were told to be. The door is not physical, it's perceptual, and every step through it rewires your soul. Divinity is a dance only seen by those who give breath to the moment. Not tomorrow, not in the ashram, not after 10 years of doing shadow work. Now. God is not hiding. It is grooving in the rustle of leaves and the space between your thoughts and the inhale before the cry. And most people miss it because they're not dancing. They're planning out the choreography of the dance. But the divine isn't a plan, it's a pulse. And to feel it, you don't need to understand it. You just need to show up barefoot, breathful, and unafraid. Let's end with a quick guided meditation. Okay, so just join me and we'll end the transmission there as I have some work to do. So just close your eyes, whatever feels comfortable. Take a deep breath in. Let go of all resistance. Let your body relax. But let your mind stay awake. Now remember, you're not inside the universe. The universe is inside you. There is no separation. No God outside of you. No truth apart from what already burns within. Feel the creative force in your chest. That pulsing, vibrant awareness. That's not your body. That's not even your mind. That's the real you. And you've always known this. This is just a reminder. The observer, the infinite one, the fractal of divinity. You were trained to forget, but now you remember. You are not your name. You are not your past. You are this dreamer behind the dream. You are the formless taking form. And here in this stillness, you begin to sculpt your reality. So say it in your mind. I am the universe aware of itself. I am God experiencing this moment. I create from within. Let that knowing echo in your cells and let it rewrite you. Let it rewrite your code. Let it rewire you. Let it set you free. This is your divine birthright to become, to create, to observe. Now take one more deep breath in. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes back into presence again, back into the eternitas, the now ever, fully awakened, fully here, fully now. I'm just checking if there is any other downloads coming in through right now. This is the call. This is the spiral staircase echoing through the void of your chest. Will you step in or stay at the threshold of a life unlived? Thank you so much, guys. I'm taking some rest today as I'm getting over some allergies and so forth. But I think today will be a good prep day for tomorrow when I step into the channeling. And I'm going to be channeling the Lyran Council. It's free for everybody to attend. And if you are interested, let me know. This is Herbrun. He has a very thick American accent. That's the way that I transmit that information. And yeah, if you're drawn to the Anuhazi or the Lyrans, definitely tap in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Ferras, Pokit. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. May we never be the same again. Let's go. Upward Spiral Gang.